Hello, this is a learner's orientation to our online real estate course. I think you'll find this should be fairly easy. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of problems here, but you do need to understand a few things to begin with. And first of all, my name is Frankie Griffin. I'm here at the Real Estate School for Success, and I'll be your primary contact throughout the course. And if you need anything or if you have any questions, you can certainly email us. There's a discussion board here where you can post questions. And as you see, we'll typically respond no later than one business day, either by email or message board. But we'll certainly be getting back in touch with you, respond to any questions you may have as soon as we can, but certainly within one business day. We also need to go over the description, what you can expect that we're going to be doing here today. This is the Unit 1 that we're going to be going through. It's a 60-hour course mandated by the state of South Carolina. There's several things we're going to be going over, but primarily right here, obviously the characteristics of real estate. We have to talk about what the laws are that real estate agents must abide and comply with when they're practicing real estate in South Carolina. And obviously we want to make sure that when you're practicing, you're doing it in a way that's going to protect the public, because that's everything we're required to do. That's what the Real Estate Commission is going to be looking for. It's all about protecting the public. Now, and I'll just tell you just a little heads up about this course that makes this online course, I think, a good bit different than your typical online course. One, you're actually going to have some live interaction or watch some live interaction with a live class through this video. But not only are you going to be learning the requirements, the laws and things of that nature that you would need to pass the state exam, but I'm actually going to be going through and talking about some scenarios, storytelling, if you will, but it's to help illustrate points. And I think you'll find this will help you in your learning process. Hopefully it'll make things a lot more understandable. And I think you'll do very well. You should enjoy this course for sure. You see here, I've listed on this slide all the different topics. I'm not going to sit here and go through each one of them. But there's a lot of information you have to understand just about real estate. One, you need to know what real estate is. And it may not be exactly what you're probably thinking it is. You got to understand how money and real estate works. We're going to be talking about finance, how we can transfer property from one to another. And there are many different ways to do that. We got to talk about ways to actually hold real estate. When I say hold it, title. How are you going to hold title? What type of estate are you going to have? And these are some of the things that we're going to be going through throughout the course. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think there'll be any problems there at all. But some of the prerequisites, in order to get your real estate license in South Carolina, now obviously anybody can take this online course. Anybody can take it, doesn't really matter. But to get your license, there are some requirements here. Obviously, to get your salesperson's license, you must be at least 18 years of age or older. And then if you should decide to get your broker or broker in charge license at some point in the future, then you must be at least 21 years of age to get that license. Now I want to be clear, some of you may be 21 or older now. That does not mean because you are 21 now that you can go ahead and get your broker license. If you had or get your salesperson's license when you're 18, then you could also get your broker license when you're 21. Obviously, there's a 3 years experience gap there. So whenever you get your salesperson's license, you'll have to wait at least 3 years to get your broker license. So I just didn't want it to be confusing and think, again, you could get your broker license just because you're 21. You do have to have a high school diploma or a GED. You will have to pass this course. This Unit 1 is a 60-hour course, and you will have to pass that. You will have to submit to a criminal background check. Now, I will just tell you, This is not, you can't go to the local sheriff's department or the SLED or any of that stuff. You have to go through the Real Estate Commission. In fact, if you go on the South Carolina Real Estate Commission website, you'll see there'll be a link there where you can actually apply for the background check. That's the only one they're going to accept. So if you've already had a background check because of the job you're in, if it's not this one, if you did not go through the Real Estate Commission's website to get it, they're not going to accept that one. So just understand, you got to go on the Commission's website, click on background check, and then obviously provide the information. And most people get it back within 24 to 48 hours. But I have heard others say they're still waiting a week or 2 weeks later. So one thing I would recommend, I would go ahead and do the background check. Let's go ahead and get that completed. So when you get ready to apply to state exam, you already have the background check. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for that to come back, and that's costing you some more time. So just go ahead, go to the Real Estate Commission's website, do the background check, have it all done, get it out of your way. Obviously, then you will have to go past the state exam. But again, you're not going to be able to take the state exam. Obviously, you got to complete this course first. But you also have to have the background check before they will approve you to take the state exam. So that's why I'm emphasizing, go get the background check. You need to go ahead and get that done right now. And then before you'll actually be licensed as a real estate agent, there is a second class you'll have to take. It's a Unit 2 Advanced Principles in Real Estate. That's a 30-hour course, and obviously when you get to that point, we'll talk more about the requirements there. All right, this course is self-paced, so you can take your time. You can go as fast or as slow as you'd like to go. Like I said, we have actually videoed a live class that was going on. Students within the class will be asking questions. I'll be answering those questions, and I would think a lot of them might be some of the same questions you might be thinking about. But if somebody in the classroom does not ask a question that you have a question about, again, that's what the message board is for. Or if you want to shoot us an email, do that. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure you've got everything you need, make sure you understand everything the way it needs to be understood. So feel free to give us or shoot us an email if that's what it takes. This is also considered a mastery-based course, meaning you got to master certain components before you can move to the next component. Each module that you take will have a quiz at the end of it. You must score a minimum of 70%. If you don't, then you'll have to retake the quiz, go through the material again. But you got to make 70% before you'll be allowed to go to the next module, okay? Now the way we recommend this, and I think it'd be very helpful if you do it this way. Watch the video and then read the material that we've also provided to you for this course. But I do think you need to watch the video, because throughout the video, I'm going to explain the material. Now, I'm not going to read the material to you. I don't do that. I teach what you need to know. So we'll talk about everything that's in the material, but then you need to go back and read it. Make sure you understand it, make sure it makes sense to you. And I think you'll find you'll be very successful to do it that way. But again, you will have a quiz at the end of each module, and then at the end of the course, there will be a final exam. Obviously, you have to pass that one too. Again, with a 70% pass rate. Now, on the final exam and on the state exam, they actually mirror each other. They work the same way here. There's actually 2 exams you're going to have to take. There's 2 tests that make up the real estate exam. You're going to have a national portion, and then you're going to have a state-specific portion. And the reason they break it out, there are certain things about real estate, it is what it is no matter what state you live in. So that portion of the material will be covered on the national portion, And obviously, no matter what state you're in or what state you're taking the exam in, it's going to all be the same. So everything on the national portion is good nationwide. But every state has different requirements, different laws on how you can practice real estate. So we have to break those out from state to state. So you'll take the national portion, and then you'll also take a state-specific portion. So that's two different tests. On the national, you'll have 80 questions. On the state, you'll have 30 questions. So combined, you'll have 110. You do have to pass both portions. If you should not pass one, but maybe you pass the other, and those things happen, then that means you will have to retake the portion you did not pass. Once you pass one, you're good, you're finished with it. But we will have to keep going until we have both portions passed. Again, you got to have a 70% in both parts. And again, I don't think you're going to have any problems here. No problems at all. It should be. Again, I think you're going to enjoy this class. I really do. But if you find this is just not working out for you, or this is not, real estate's not what I thought it was, and you're looking for a refund, you want to get out of it, yeah, we do have a refund policy. You see a couple of requirements here. Obviously, to get a refund, you're going to it has to be within 30 days of the initial purchase. After 30 days, there's no refund. And then also, if you've already completed 50% or more of the course, there will be no refunds at that point. All right. On this slide here, and I'm not going to go through all of this because one, I'm not a computer guru, but these are the system requirements needed for your computer to operate with the testing software that we have and the classroom software. All this stuff. These are the requirements. If you want to look at those, write them down or whatever. I think most computers, especially if it's a fairly new computer today, you should have no problems at all. But if you do run into problems, you can look and see what the requirements are here. Okay. A few helpful suggestions, and some of this I kind of touched on already, but I do just want to emphasize this, some of it. Again, watch the video before you try to read the material. Because I'm just telling you, if you try to read the material first, a lot of the stuff in this book and in the material is going to be very difficult to understand without some explanation. So by watching the video, hopefully that will help you understand what you're about to read, and then you can go ahead and read it. I would make sure there are no distractions. When you sit down in front of your computer to do what you need to do, find a quiet place, put your cell phone away. You don't want to be taking phone calls and stuff like that. You don't want any distractions at all. A helpful tip about taking the state exam, or at least what I find. You know, I hear people say all the time after taking the state exam, the questions were just tricky. And I can certainly understand that. Because they can be. But if you understand what they're trying to do, hopefully this might help you a little bit. But one of the things you'll notice when you go to take the state exam, like on the instructions page before you actually begin, one of the things it will not say, read the question and select the right answer. Rather, what you will likely see it say, read the question and select the best answer. Now that's different a lot of times than the right answer. You know, for example, you may read this question, excuse me, you may read this question and start and you know the answer, but then you look at your options here and the right answer is not even there. It's not an option for you. Again, because they didn't ask you for the right answer. They ask you for, given the options you have, which is the best answer. And again, what they're trying to do here is to make sure you're not just memorizing stuff. You need to actually understand it. You need to know why certain things are required, why they're not, and so forth. So if you really understand the question, then you should be able to exercise your logic, your understanding, and then figure out which of these would be the best. Another issue you see a lot of times, you'll read the question, and they might have, of the 4 options, because it's all multiple choice, maybe 2 and sometimes as many as 3 of the answers. You would say, well, it could be any 2 or 3 of these are right. They're all right. And they may be, but only one of them is the best answer. So again, you got to make sure you understand the question they're asking and then choose the best answer. And I think that's what really causes a lot of people problems, especially when they're looking at 2 answers. They think it could be either one, and then you're like, well, which one do you go with? Because either one of them would be right. Even though either one's right, only one's the best, given what they specifically are asking you. And that's what you got to pay attention to. So if you understand those type things, I think you'll do just fine. And last thing I will tell you, and I do believe this, but if you're taking this class, just know you were born with a God-given right to be successful. And here's an opportunity for you. You have to be willing to do what it takes. God will provide the way. God will provide the means, but you got to put in the effort. You got to do what you need to do to be successful, and you'll do very well. I hope you enjoy the course. Again, if you have any questions, shoot us that email or send us a message on the message board, and we'll do everything we can to help you. God bless. Hope you have a great time with this course.